The story starts with a girl named Ja Young jolting awake in the middle of the night. A tiny bubble has just popped on her forehead. She hears weird, unsettling sounds coming from the hallway. Carefully, she opens her door and peeks out. There's her sister, Seo-woo, limping and walking in slow circles. From the dark doorway, it looks absolutely terrifying. Ja Young's heart races. She thinks it's a demon. Then, the thing attacks her, climbs on top of her, strangles her, and laughs with the most horrifying voice. Ja Young struggles in pain and suddenly wakes up for real, gasping. It was only a nightmare. Her stepsister is right beside her, gently calming her down. Soon, we learn that Ja Young is part of a little supernatural club at school. She's on a group video call with her friends. The leader, a boy named Gi-ho, is super excited because there's a YouTube contest with a big cash prize. Their plan? Shoot a fake horror documentary where they pretend to summon something dangerous. To make it look real, they choose an old abandoned building that already has tons of scary rumors. People say anyone who goes inside just vanishes. The others are nervous, but the money sounds too good, so everyone agrees. Ja Young also invites her stepsister, Seo-woo. Seo-woo hesitates at first, but Ja Young convinces her, and now the whole group is ready. They reach the location late at night, a creepy basement with cracked walls and a heavy, damp smell. Right in the center of the room stands a huge tank filled with thick, dirty black water. Gi-ho explains the legend. Long ago, this tank was used to store and purify water, but many restless spirits got trapped inside it. Even though the water isn't actually deep, it feels bottomless because of all the souls down there. Of course, the whole video is supposed to be staged, but while they're setting up, someone suggests, why don't we try the real ritual first, just once? If nothing happens, we'll do the fake version anyway, but if the camera actually catches something real, we'll win for sure. Everyone looks around, shrugs, and surprisingly, Gi-ho says okay. Now they need a vessel, someone who will let a spirit enter their body. Seo-woo raises her hand and volunteers. Ja Young is touched that her stepsister is so brave. She takes off her ankle chain and gently puts it on her as a protective gift. It's the first present she has ever given her. Seo-woo smiles warmly and hugs her tight. The ritual begins. They draw a huge star on the floor with salt and sit at each point. Seo-woo steps into the middle of the dark tank. The water reaches her waist. Ja Young carefully places a paper bag over her head so the spirit can't see her real eyes right away. Then, everyone scoops a small bowl of the filthy water and keeps it close. The rules are strict. Once the spirit arrives, the only way to end everything safely is to politely ask it, please leave. Only after it says those words can they remove the bag from Seo-woo's face, and no one is allowed to step outside the star until it's over. At first, nothing happens. The group starts whispering and giggling, thinking it's already failed. Someone checks their phone, but then a single bubble rises and pops against Seo-woo's forehead. The room shakes. Heavy footsteps echo from nowhere. The lights flicker wildly. Seo-woo's body jerks and twists in impossible ways, like her bones are snapping. The paper bag on her head grows soaked in seconds. With a sudden rip, she tears an opening over her eyes. When she looks up, her eyes are no longer hers. They are completely pitch black. The moment those pitch black eyes lock onto everyone, they know Seo-woo is no longer herself. She slowly raises one arm, wrist twisting in an unnatural circle, and her finger points to each person one by one. On the floor, the wet papers they had dropped into the tank float up by themselves. The answers written in Seo-woo's shaky handwriting appear on every sheet, mirrored perfectly. Some answers are correct, some are wrong. Ja Young's and Gi-ho's papers are right. 2 others are wrong, and only one paper has a tiny flower drawn in the corner. No one understands what it means yet. Then Seo-woo opens her mouth and speaks in a deep, layered voice that doesn't belong to her. Everyone freezes. She starts counting slowly. 662, 663, 664. When she reaches 666, she lets out a blood-curdling scream and lunges toward Yeun, but something invisible yanks her backward. Her legs stay stuck in the black water, as if a hand is gripping her ankle from below. All the lights cut out at once. The basement becomes pure darkness. Gi-ho quickly switches his camera to night vision mode. In the green glow, they see Seo-woo limping exactly the same way Seo-woo did in Ja Young's nightmare. The others scream and rush forward. They grab her arms and drag her out of the tank. As soon as she's on dry ground, she collapses, unconscious. When they roll up her pant leg, a fresh black tattoo-like mark circles her ankle, raw and bleeding a little. Panic explodes. This isn't fake anymore. Gi-ho's eyes light up with excitement instead of fear. This is gold. No one has ever filmed real possession before. The rest of the group turns on him, shouting, "Our friend is hurt, and you're thinking about views?" Someone grabs their phone to call the police, but there's no signal. They run to the only door. It's locked from the outside. They slam it with shoulders, kick it, swing a baseball bat. Nothing works. That's when the second possession begins. Another girl, Yeun, suddenly jerks, spine bending backward, and she starts smashing her own forehead against the metal door. Blood pours down her face. She grabs the baseball bat and begs them in that same terrifying voice, "Kill me, please, kill me now." When no one moves, she charges straight at the unconscious Seo-woo. Chaos erupts. Friends try to hold her back. Gi-ho, face pale and shaking, lifts the bat and brings it down hard on Yeun's head. She drops, lifeless. Silence falls. Everyone stares at Gi-ho in horror. One of the boys picks up the dead girl's wet paper from the floor. The question Yeun had written was simple. Will I ever escape Gi-ho? The answer written by the spirit? No. Piece by piece, the truth spills out. Yeun had been secretly dating their teacher. Gi-ho found out, recorded them, and had been blackmailing her for months. She finally snapped and threatened to take the evidence to the police. That's why Gi-ho needed her gone. Back in the basement, Gi-ho stammers that it was an accident, that he's innocent. The lights flicker again. When they come back on, Gi-ho is gone from where he was standing. A second later, he reappears in the corner, holding a long knife, eyes completely empty. He lunges at the nearest friend. The boys tackle him, wrestle the knife away, and tie him up with every rope and cable they can find, while he laughs and cries at the same time. The group is shaken, trying to make sense of everything, when Ja-young suddenly freezes. She grabs the old ritual book and flips through the pages with trembling hands. Her face goes pale. They never finished the ritual properly. They forgot the most important rule. They never planned the spirit to leave, because they broke the circle again, to stake and end this nightmare the right way. But now they have a bigger problem. The girl who was killed earlier, the one Gi-ho hit with the bat, is still lying motionless. In desperation, they gently place her body back into the black water tank. The second her skin touches the surface, her eyes snap open. She sits up slowly, water dripping from her hair, and points first at her own killer's corpse, then at every person still alive. The ritual is restarting exactly where it left off. One by one, just like before, the spirit answers the remaining questions through her mouth. People step out of the star as their turn ends. Suddenly, every phone in the basement starts ringing at once. The signal is back. They frantically dial the police, shouting for help. In the chaos, the boy who survived Ji-ho's knife attack, Dong-jun, quickly types a message to Ja-young, confessing his feelings. For a second, the two of them smile, thinking the worst is finally over and their life together can begin. Then, every candle and light blows out again. When the bulbs flicker back on, Ji-ho is standing in the middle of the room. The ropes lie cut on the floor. He lifts the knife to his throat without a word and drags it across. Blood sprays. He drops, dead. Someone checks his phone with shaking fingers. The video he uploaded hours ago has just hit 1 million views. That was the question he asked the spirit. Will this video reach 1 million views? The answer came true, and the price was his life. Terror takes over completely. They finally understand. The moment each person's prediction is fulfilled, they die. The girl whose paper had a little flower drawn on it suddenly remembers. The spirit's answer beside the flower was the single word, funeral. She bolts to the door, screaming for help. An invisible hand wraps around her throat, lifts her off the ground, and hurls her into the tank. The others rush to pull her out, but the force holds her head under the black water until she stops moving. Funeral flowers. That's what the drawing meant. Now only 3 people are left breathing. Ja-young, Dong-jun, and Seo-woo, who is still lying unconscious on the floor. They don't even know if Seo-woo is alive or dead anymore. In panic, they search the basement for any way out and discover a hidden door behind some crates. Inside the tiny room, they find a rotting cloth with the word death painted in huge red letters, and behind it, a long dead body chained to the wall. Ja-young stares at the corpse, then at Dong-jun. Only one can leave, she whispers. Without hesitation, she grabs a sharp piece of metal and drives it into Dong-jun's chest. He looks at her in shock and collapses. That's when the real twist hits. Everything was Ja-young's plan from the very beginning. The little sister she saw in her nightmare at the start of the movie, In-young, didn't just appear in a dream. She had died months earlier. Ja-young loved her more than anything in the world. When her father remarried and brought home a new stepsister, Seo-woo, Ja-young hated her. She discovered this ancient ritual by accident. It promised to bring back 1 soul from the dead, but it demanded 5 human sacrifices in return. 4 friends are already gone. The fifth and final sacrifice has to be the girl wearing the ankle chain, Seo Wu. Ja Young drags the unconscious Seo Wu to the edge of the tank, ready to push her in. A single bubble rises slowly to the surface. Inside it, Ja Young sees the gentle, smiling face of her real little sister. Tears stream down her cheeks. "I'm sorry," she sobs. "I'll take care of you forever this time. I promise." But the face in the bubble twists. The smile stretches too wide. The eyes turn black, and a horrible laugh echoes through the basement. It was never her sister. It was the demon trapped in the water all along, tricking her, feeding her lies, waiting for someone desperate enough to finish the ritual and set it free. The demon's voice booms. Your friends keep asking why you killed them. Ja Young stumbles back in horror. The demon rises from the water in a column of black liquid, grabs her by the throat, and lifts her high. "Thank you for releasing me," it hisses. "All of this was just so I could walk free again." Ja Young struggles, realizing every murder she committed was for nothing. The demon squeezes until her body goes limp, then pulls her soul out like smoke and drags it down into the endless black water, trapping her forever. The camera slowly moves to the wet paper that held Ja Young's question during the ritual. Will I see my sister again? The answer written underneath is a single word: yes. She did see her, for one heartbreaking second inside that bubble. And the second the prophecy was fulfilled, Ja Young died too. In the quiet post-credit scene, we go back to earlier that night. The whole group is laughing together before the ritual, full of dreams. Ji-ho brags about becoming a famous YouTuber. Ja Young says she just wants to be happy again. Sweet, innocent Seo Wu smiles at her new big sister and whispers, "I hope I can make Ja Young happy forever." They were so excited, so full of hope. One terrible choice took everything away, and the screen fades to black.